Hi, I'm Beck and I am a dog groomer from the northeast of England and thought I would show you my little dog grooming shed. So I have this set up in my back garden. It's a 7x12 shed and it's just big enough for my bath, some storage which will be going tomorrow because I am going to rejig all of this tomorrow, give it a deep clean, get this section of, obviously we can't paint the cladding, get this section painted, pull everything out, try and remove these and put some shelving up here to give me a little bit more space in this area. This crate is only for my dog, so he likes to sit with me while I'm at work. And then I've got the two aircon units here. Well, that's an aircon and that's an air cooler, which I just like to be pointing at the dogs that I'm grooming. So it's got just enough room for a stand dryer, a dryer, well, blaster, a little stool to be wherever, which is an absolute essential if you've got a bad back, a crate, a table, like I say, the aircon units and a little bit of storage. But I do think it all needs rejigging this weekend because it's looking a bit sad and sorry at the moment, but there's going to be a lot of changes just to try and make this working environment just a little bit better. So because we struggle with temperature in the shed, I did have to add this little porch to the shed to stop the sun going directly into the windows, which has worked. And we've also got a foil topper on the shed and it does reduce the temperature by a couple of degrees. So we have got today little Molly, who's a good girl, and Frankie, who's a little bit nervous. Aren't you, baby boy? You're a little bit nervous. We've done loads of work with Frankie over the years so that he is a bit more confident. He still doesn't enjoy the grooming experience, however, he's not stressed anymore. He used to poo when he was dried, and he'd been sent away from the other groomer and said that he was naughty. He's not naughty at all. He's just a really nervy little boy. But now we can dry Frankie and he's quite calm. We went through, like I say, years of using the puppy dryer, cuddling him while he was being dried. We went through a lot. Molly is just such an excited girl. She literally loves being groomed and she's just barking and whining out of pure impatience, aren't you, baby girl? You are! Pure impatience, yes! But yeah, so this room at the moment, I've always got my thermometer on and it's showing at 17.8 degrees and I've got the aircon unit on. I haven't put this on yet. This is just an air cooler, like I say, that goes directly onto the dog. Don't know whether you can see, just to cool things down. And here is my little Cocker Spaniel that, are you going in your bed? Go on then, you're going in bed. No? What are you doing? What are you doing? What? So these two are to start my day to day. I am going to keep videoing and talk through a little bit that I do and don't like about having the shed. So the shed was around about £1,000 when I bought it, which I don't think is too bad. That was from B&Q. And then I had to pay for the insulation, which only ended up about £40–50, and then the cladding for the wall behind the bath, and then I also got the boarding to put over the rest of the shed. But I don't feel like the boarding's been too great because if the dog grooming table is knocked against it, it's like taken the top coat of the boarding off. So that's why it all needs painting this weekend because it is just looking really tired. So that's Frankie and Molly all done. They've both got the little bows on for having the groom, which I just get off Shein. They work out about 6 pence or something like that for each one. And we need a little Monster Energy break to set us up for the rest of the day. Something that I do really like about the shed is that the bath is actually set up from my kitchen is my kitchen wall is against that this side of the shed. So basically the boiler is set up here and the water runs directly off the boiler, so in the winter I didn't have any problems whatsoever with pipes freezing or anything. And then this whole shed in the winter is so easy to heat up by just a little oil radiator, which was only about £30. So in the winter it is really good, but at the moment it's 20 degrees outside and it's 20 degrees in here, and that's just from using the dryers for a little while. And like I say, that's with the aircon unit on, so they do get really warm, which is something that I find really difficult about having the shed. When we first set the shed up, all of the electrics and the plumbing was done by an electrician and a plumber obviously, and that only cost something around about £300 for everything. The bath was second-hand from Facebook Marketplace. It'd only been used for a couple of months, and that was it was, I think, £700, but the Artero baths are around about 1,500. About 1,500 brand new, so I think that was really good. And then the dryers I'd already had from my old set up in my old house, which I did used to just have a utility room, and that was great because it was brick. I didn't have any problems with temperature whatsoever, so the heating that ran off the house, and then also the warmth, just of either side next door neighbours. And then in the summer, because the house got no because the house got no sun on it at all, it was really cool no matter what. So I do miss that about having it in the house. However, I don't miss the having dogs come through my front door, because this is much better because it's just from the back gate, from the garden. So dogs just come down the garden and straight in here. This is Bailey. He's about done now. He's about fully groomed, so we're just going to do his ears and his Grinch feet on that side and his little feathering. So another thing that I really like about having the shed rather than working at home is just how clean it keeps my actual house, because before my Cocker Spaniel was it was like leaving the grooming room and then running upstairs and dragging hair through. So now it's completely separate from my home. I feel like my house is so much tidier than what it was before. However, this little room is really, really difficult to actually keep clean because it's so small. I think if you were using a bigger unit, like a bigger shed, which I didn't actually have space for, it would be easier to keep clean and easier to keep cool. Because with it being such a short, like a small space, I think that's why I struggle so much. I think this, like I say, this was 7 by 12 foot, and if I could have had a bigger one, then I definitely would have. There's a few things as well that I don't enjoy about having the shed, other than sort of the heat. Not the heat, yeah, the heat inside. Like I say, in the winter it's absolutely perfect, but in the summer it's really, really difficult. Even though I have got the foil for the top of the shed, that was £80, the foil for the top of the shed. And then I created the porch on the front of the shed. The wood for that cost about 150. Just for like an idea for pricing for everybody. And then the air cons, one of the air cons was 200, and then the one from Home Bargains was only £20. But like I said, that's an air cooler, not an aircon unit. Oh, just doing your little ear, baby boy. You're such a good boy, aren't you? So yeah, there's a few things, like it being so untidy, it's so small, it is impossible to keep clean throughout the day. It's like you're fighting a losing battle constantly. That's why I'm just trying to make sure that I can have a little bit more room, and with my little breezes tomorrow, I think that maybe it'll be easier to keep clean. Little Bailey's so good, isn't he, getting his feet done. I do his on a reverse 7, just because he's always out in the fields and things, so I just find it makes the Grinch feet like it stay away for a little bit longer. I always do this bit as well on Spaniels, just that bit between the paw and the pad. It's not really needed. So we take that away, don't we, son? You good boy. Oh yeah, good. So this is Cooper, and this is Benji, and these two are my last ones of the day. So I think I forgot to say about the cladding on the back wall. That luckily has saved my life on so many occasions, because I do have a lot of like splashes off the shower quite often, and all the electrics as well have been ran off a separate circuit to my house. So the electrician created a separate circuit to run this through, so that if there's any problems with the electric in here, or it trips the electrics, then it won't affect work or vice versa. So that's really good. But yeah, basically I feel like I'm happy with this setup for now, and I would never want to go and rent a table anywhere, but I will be saving up for a new house. And when I'm in the new house, I'm hoping that it will be like a garage situation, because in a garage obviously with the brick it's got better insulation anyway, they're a little bit cooler, but also you can fit a proper aircon unit in there, whereas you can't structurally put a proper aircon in here. So I feel like that would be a lot better, and it would have just a little, what is it, my dad? Obviously it would have a lot of more room as well, so that would mean that it would be easier to keep, what's that noise? Easier to keep clean. So although I really appreciate this setting now, and I would never ever want to go in a salon or anything, it's definitely not the best option. It's great if you've got nothing else, no other options as to where you can work from, but I do feel like there's a lot better ways of working out there. So I hope this little video helps you if you're trying to make any decisions, or you're trying to get an idea for costings. Yeah, if you're trying to get an idea for costings as to how much it would cost you to set up the shed. Obviously the cost that I've included doesn't include any of my equipment other than the bath, and yeah, that was it. I think I've covered all of the different costs that everything's cost me, which isn't that much in all fairness, but I am quite lucky that I've got family members that can come and help me with building it, and the plumbing and the electric didn't actually cost me that much because that was done by friends or family. Look at him with his ears. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed watching my little day at work, because these two are my last ones, and I hope this has been informative for you. Good boy.